Unearthing the Ancient Secrets. The history of Mount of Olives. The history of Mount of Olives in Jerusalem dates back thousands of years, making it one of the most significant landmarks in the region. This iconic mountain has played a pivotal role in religious, cultural, and historical contexts, drawing visitors and scholars alike to explore its ancient secrets. The geological formation of Mount of Olives. Nestled to the east of Jerusalem's Old City, the Mount of Olives stands as a testament to the natural history of the region, soaring more than 800 meters above sea level. This elevation is part of a larger mountain ridge that delineates the boundaries between the arid expanses of the Judean desert and the fertile lands of the Jordan Valley. The mount's geological composition is primarily made up of limestone and dolomite, materials that have not only sculpted its rugged terrain over millennia, but also contributed to its iconic stature within the Jerusalem landscape. These rocks, formed from ancient sediments under the sea, tell a story of geological processes that have shaped the region for millions of years. As these materials were subject to the forces of nature, they were uplifted and exposed, forming the mountain ridge we see today. The presence of natural caves and fissures within this limestone and dolomite landscape has further added to the mount's mystical appeal, offering physical spaces that have been woven into the historical and religious narratives of the communities that hold this place dear. The Mount of Olives' geological traits not only define its physical presence, but also underscore the profound connection between the land and the cultural identity it supports. Mount of Olives in ancient texts and traditions. The Mount of Olives has long been revered across several ancient texts and traditions, serving as a backdrop to pivotal religious and historical narratives. In the Hebrew Bible, its slopes are etched into stories of profound significance. It witnesses King David's emotional escape from his son Absalom, embodying a place of refuge in despair. The mountain also figures prominently in the prophetic literature, where Zechariah envisions a future where this locale plays a central role in eschatological events. Similarly, its significance extends into the New Testament, where the Mount of Olives frames key moments in the life and ministry of Jesus Christ. Beyond scriptural mentions, the mountain is enveloped in a rich tapestry of oral traditions and religious rites that underline its sanctity. It's not merely a geographical feature, but a symbol of faith, hope, and divine intervention, resonating deeply with the faithful from both Jewish and Christian communities. This profound reverence is reflected in the rituals and ceremonies that have taken place on its slopes, where the sacred history of the Mount of Olives continues to inspire and affirm the spiritual connections of those who walk its paths. The Mount of Olives during the time of Jesus. In the days of Jesus, the Mount of Olives was not just a geographical landmark, but a central stage for his teachings and pivotal moments. Among the olive groves, Jesus shared parables and teachings that have echoed through millennia, making the mount a site of profound spiritual significance. The Garden of Gethsemane, nestled at its base, is where Jesus experienced intense prayer and anguish the night before his crucifixion, marking it as a place of deep emotional and spiritual resonance for Christians. This area, saturated with the presence of Jesus, became a cornerstone for Christian faith, embodying both the human and divine aspects of his life. The Mount's role in Jewish rituals and traditions. The significance of the Mount of Olives to the Jewish community extends deeply into religious rituals and ancient traditions. Esteemed as one of the holiest sites, its soil holds the remains of prophets, scholars, and generations of faithful Jews, making it the oldest and most revered Jewish cemetery in the world. This sacred ground is interwoven with beliefs about the end of days, rooted in the prophecy that the Messiah will emerge from its slopes to herald the resurrection. This eschatological vision fuels a profound spiritual connection, drawing pilgrims who come to invoke the merit of the righteous buried there, seeking their intercession and the hastening of redemption. Notably, the ritual of the priestly blessing, or Birkat Kohanim, gathers thousands at the western wall during Passover and Sukkot, with many participants ascending the Mount of Olives afterward for prayer and reflection, emphasizing its enduring role in Jewish worship. The anticipation of messianic times infuses the mount with a unique aura of hope and sacred expectation, illustrating its timeless place within the tapestry of Jewish spiritual life. The Mount of Olives in the Middle Ages. The medieval period brought profound transformations to the Mount of Olives, reshaping its significance across the religious spectrum. As a beacon of spirituality, it attracted throngs of pilgrims from diverse backgrounds, seeking solace and connection within its sacred bounds. The Crusader era marked a particularly significant chapter in the mountain's history, evidenced by the construction of numerous churches and monasteries that dot its landscape. Among these, the construction of the Church of the Ascension stands out, erected to commemorate the site where Jesus is believed to have ascended into heaven. This period also saw the establishment of the Tower of Ascension, a fortress built by the Crusaders aimed at safeguarding the pilgrims and asserting Christian dominance over this spiritually contested terrain. The modern history of Mount of Olives. The contemporary era has brought Mount of Olives into the spotlight, underscoring its complex role in the geopolitical landscape of Jerusalem. Amidst the backdrop of ongoing Israeli-Palestinian tensions, this historic mountain continues to be a symbol of faith, strife, and hope. The 20th and 21st centuries have witnessed the mount transitioning from a predominantly spiritual destination to a contentious zone, where issues of sovereignty and access have sparked debates and occasionally conflicts. Despite these challenges, the Mount of Olives remains a beacon for pilgrims and tourists, attracted by its rich tapestry of religious and historical narratives. Preservation efforts and contemporary challenges. Efforts to safeguard the Mount of Olives have ramped up in response to its growing recognition as a cultural and historical treasure under threat. Key initiatives focus on the conservation of its rich historical sites and the protection of its expansive cemetery, which is of immense religious significance to many. Notable among these is the work by organizations dedicated to the restoration of the ancient tombs, ensuring they endure as a testament to the mountain's sacred history. Challenges, however, are manifold. Urban expansion and environmental degradation loom large, posing risks to the integrity of this venerable landscape. Additionally, the area is not immune to the strains of socio-political tensions that have, at times, led to restricted access and threats to the site's well-being. These obstacles underscore the pressing need for continued vigilance and collaborative efforts in the preservation of the Mount of Olives, ensuring it remains a beacon of cultural and spiritual heritage for generations to come. This brings us to the end of this video. Before you leave, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for future interesting videos like this.